Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Monday, the 10th of August. I am your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Syria and Russia have agreed a deal on bases within Syria, North Korea is using AI tools for hacking, and Iran has tied the Strait of Hormuz reopening to demands from the US. So firstly, Syria's new government says they have reached an agreement with Russia on the future of Moscow's military presence, including the Tartarus naval base and an air base in a place I can't pronounce. The deal lets Russia keep a foothold in the Mediterranean despite the collapse of the Assad government that once guaranteed its access. It marks a pragmatic bargain in which Damascus trades continued Russian basing for economic and diplomatic support. So what? Russia highly likely views retaining these naval and air bases as vital to projecting their power into the Mediterranean and Africa, particularly the Africa context, as from what I understand, these bases are extremely vital as part of this air bridge into Africa, supporting their military contractors there. So retaining these bases is very important to Russia. They likely see this leveraging of the bases to secure Russian reconstruction for aid and sanctions relief. Damascus here is trying to hedge their bets with the West and also get support from the East as well. It's kind of unsurprising. It's a pretty pragmatic view from the new leader of Syria, who, as we all know, used to be the leader of a terrorist organization. And Western pressure to expel Russia from Syria is likely, I think, as the deal takes shape. I don't think the West is going to like this. I'm not sure how Turkey's going to respond. They're kind of the kingmaker here, in my opinion. But yeah, it seems likely that Syria is going to try and be pragmatic and not pick a side. And next, a report says that North Korean state-linked hackers have developed artificial intelligence tools to enhance their cyber attack operations. The group is reportedly using AI to automate reconnaissance, craft more convincing phishing lures, and speed up the development of malicious code. The move signals Pyongyang's intent to modernize its cyber program, a key source of its illicit revenue and intelligence collection. So what? North Korea here is likely to use AI to scale up its cryptocurrency theft and also to support its, I don't know what you would call them, but where they essentially send employees into companies to try and steal data and exfiltrate it out. All of this is done to fund its weapons program. And AI-assisted phishing and malware is almost certainly going to raise the sophistication here of Pyongyang's instructor. They're pretty good. From what I understand, they're like some of the best cryptocurrency thieves going, and they've also been pretty effective at infiltrating organizations. So AI is just going to be an asset here to them, supporting these operations, allowing them probably to do it faster and more efficiently, which is pretty scary. And I think similar AI adoption by other state hacking groups and also non-state hacking groups is likely to continue, especially within this year. I think there's probably going to be a rapid advancement in how AI is used once it becomes clear that it's actually an effective tool. And lastly, Iran says it will link any reopening of the Strait of Hormuz to a set of demands, including concessions from the United States. Tehran is using its leverage over the vital choke point, which carries roughly a fifth of global crude, as a bargaining tool in wider negotiations. This stance keeps energy markets on edge and raises the stakes in the standoff between Iran and Washington. So what? Iran almost certainly sees control over the Strait of Hormuz as its strongest leverage point against Washington. And I think that's pretty clear. Since they've started introducing their tolls, it's become quite obvious that this is their path to victory. The US cannot really do anything about their control over it, and they really have to make a deal. The US tried to go back to bombing them again and it didn't work, so they've gone now back to diplomacy, which isn't really working out. I think the oil markets are highly likely to stay very volatile while the strait remains unresolved, especially with Donald Trump in power and, Iran's ability to attack ships at will. Things are very turbulent, which is going to raise the cost of insurance premiums, and really just nobody knows what's going to happen. All this is happening on the backdrop of the world running out of oil reserves. So it's going to get pretty tense pretty quickly soon, I believe. I think a negotiated de-escalation that reopens the strait is a realistic possibility if sanctions relief is offered. However, Trump is going to struggle to get sanctions relief through Congress. Basically, everyone is blaming him for this, and it's really not looking good on the political front. And with statements like this coming out of Iran, it's going to get even more difficult, in my opinion. But anyway, that's been the Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you.